Duggar, 37, is presently serving almost 12 years at Texas's Segerville Federal Corrections Institution. Earlier this year, he filed a motion claiming that his constitutional rights were violated and that he was denied a fair trial. The hearing was scheduled for March 4th at 1:30 p.m. in Fayetteville by U.S. District Judge Timothy Brooks on Friday. Despite Duggar's June request, the judge dismissed his request to have an attorney assigned to represent him. In his motion, Duggar accused the court of 8 different wrongdoings. According to the complaint, Duggar asserts that material was intentionally kept from the trial in order to cause him harm. He cites witness testimony that he states was obtained only after years of animosity and media attacks as evidence. Additionally, he asserts that a Department of Justice expert lied under oath and tampered with evidence. According to Duggar, his sisters were harmed because the court decided to retrieve the Duggar family's juvenile records. One more point, according to Duggar, he did not provide his consent for TLC and Discovery Communications to release a statement he issued. In his post-conviction proceedings, Duggar allegedly did not bring up any of these claimed difficulties. As stated in the document, local judges, the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, and the U.S. Supreme Court have already denied post-conviction relief, prompting this move. More than 12 years in federal jail were doled out to Duggar after his guilty verdict for downloading and possessing child pornography in 2021. On April 29, 2021, he was initially taken into custody. His workplace, Wholesale Motor Cars, was raided by federal officials who retrieved various electronic devices and pieces of evidence. One of the worst video files I've ever had to examine. Special Agent Gerald Faulkner said of a recovered one, "Josh Duggar's narrative has remained prominent in the minds of the public. A never-ending shadow, it lurks in the recesses of American popular culture, only to be brought roaring back into the limelight with each new legal development." An Arkansas federal judge scheduled a hearing on Duggar's most recent request this week, in which he seeks to invalidate his conviction in the child pornography case that sent him to prison, once again bringing the spotlight on him. Because this hearing indicates that Duggar's legal battle is far from over, and because he was once a household name thanks to the Duggar family's television heritage, the announcement garnered interest across the nation. This latest move is the latest effort to alter the verdict in a case that tarnished his reputation and broke the trust his family had established during their time on reality TV following years of litigation, appeals, and filings. Taking a step back and examining the framework of Duggar's arguments will help you comprehend the significance of this hearing. The filing of a motion to vacate conviction by a defendant is indicative of a claim that the defendant's rights were violated, that the legal process was faulty, or that the decision should not stand. According to Duggar's legal team, the government should have withheld crucial information and acted improperly during the investigation. They are requesting that the court either declare the conviction null and void or reconsider key aspects of the case. An ambitious request. Courts do not casually vacate convictions. Only in cases where the defendant proves that there were major flaws in the trial or the evidence that impacted the verdict will this be allowed. The judge clearly considers the arguments deserve at least a full formal review. Because the court has decided to set a hearing, this does not necessarily indicate that the request will succeed. The public views the hearing as the next step in a case that many had believed would have already concluded. Those who watched 19 Kids and Counting and knew Duggar as the quiet, reserved eldest son were shocked by his arrest and sentence. Years of criticism, debate, and controversy surrounding the family's television empire, religion, accountability, and the hazy boundary between public personalities and private behavior ensued after the accusations. A lot of people thought the case was over after his conviction, that there was no turning back. However, every time a new opportunity presented itself, Duggar's legal team wasted no time submitting appeals and motions. The denial of certain appeals in suit ended up in higher courts. For many who have been following the case closely from the start, this fresh move has reignited their curiosity and triggered strong emotions. Both parties will have an opportunity to present their arguments in full during the hearing that the court in Arkansas has scheduled. The digital evidence, the investigation, and the judgments taken prior to and throughout the trial are all likely to be challenged by Duggar's attorneys. The prosecution will counter by arguing that the conviction was the right and lawful outcome of meticulous forensic investigation and a rigorous judicial procedure. Remember that this isn't just another trial. No jury will be selected, no eyewitness will be called upon to recount the specifics of the initial case. Legal and procedural matters will instead take the stage at the hearing. The defense team representing Duggar will argue before the judge that the conviction should be overturned due to serious mistakes. The prosecution will contend that the conviction is based on strong legal grounds and that Duggar's most recent attempt is only a repetition of arguments that have already been rejected. Nonetheless, hearings of this kind are important. Their actions determine how a case develops. If the judge thinks a more thorough investigation is required, they can open doors. Another option is to permanently close the case if the court rules that the motion is without merit. Whatever happens in this trial will have long-lasting consequences for Duggar, so everyone is paying close attention. Those who are rooting for him are hoping the motion gains momentum. His detractors saw it as yet another effort to evade responsibility. The general population observes with a blend of interest, weariness, and amazement at how the Duggar tale keeps finding fresh avenues to progress. It is up to the judge to decide what will happen following the hearing. His options will be severely limited if the court finds against Duggar. He has the option to appeal the verdict, but the process is becoming increasingly intricate and narrow. Additional hearings, supplementary files, or perhaps a reevaluation of key aspects from the initial trial may be necessary if the court finds that portions of the motion have validity. While it wouldn't immediately clear Duggar's name or set him free, it would bring much-needed attention to a case that many thought had been closed. As the judicial procedure continues, the Duggar family has remained mainly silent regarding this most recent development. Nevertheless, their past remains visible despite their public rectitude. The family's reputation was developed over many years on a foundation of tradition, faith, and an idealized portrayal of togetherness. That reputation crumbled when Josh's scandals broke. This hearing brings the crime and its cultural effects back to the forefront, reopening the wound. The hearing is more than simply another scheduled court date. Because of all of this, it resembles a checkpoint on a winding, lengthy route, reminding the audience of a family that was previously honored on national television. It begs the court to reconsider the stability of a conviction. Legal arguments and not public opinion will decide the result in the end. Judgment is based on rules, precedents, and statutes, not on personal feelings of loss or disappointment. Arguments that determine the heart of the case, but seldom generate headlines, will be the focus of the detailed and precise hearing. However, the judge's decision will have far-reaching consequences outside of the courtroom. Public opinion, family relations, upcoming court documents, and the question of how society reacts to the arrest and conviction of a well-known public figure will all be touched. The public once again awaits word on whether this most recent move signifies a turning point or the ultimate conclusion of a protracted legal chapter. In the meantime, the date has been set and the legal teams are getting their arguments ready. Regardless of the outcome, it is certain that the Duggar tale is still developing, whether positively or negatively.